Nobody could predict that this dude would be sitting on trial for his life. It just wasn't in the cards.
That's the one. I think that we just got caught up. I think we all got caught up in a moment. We was talking about it and having secret.
Nobody could predict that this dude would be sitting on trial for his life. It just wasn't in the cards. That's the one I think that we just got caught up. I think we all got caught up in a moment. We was talking about it, having secret meetings. The FBI didn't just leak a name or two. They dropped an entire roster, a list, entertainers, legacy brands, cultural icons, and now they're missing, vanished, escaped, fled. The second whispers started swirling that Diddy's release was no longer a matter of if, but when. Hollywood flipped its panic switch. Private jets screeched out of Van New York and Teterboro under cover of moonlight. Tails were ditched, burner phones lit up, and handlers scrambled to book last-minute flights to Dubai, Switzerland, even parts of West Africa. It's not a movie. It's not a metaphor. It's real. The exodus has begun. What is that? What do you mean by that? You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it. A man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back. Are you saying what I think? And it's not just panic. It's guilt, fear, remorse, self-preservation. Because whether you were deep in the inner circle or just sipping cocktails 2 degrees from the chaos, Diddy's shadow loomed large over the industry for decades. Now that shadow's stretching wider with the trial ending in a split verdict and his release on bail imminent, insiders say Diddy has been reviewing tapes, lists, conversations, names. Some say he's got receipts from years ago, saved footage, handwritten notes, anonymous testimonials gathered by private investigators on his payroll. Hollywood isn't just running from trouble. They're running from a man they once called family. Also too, his sons are actually involved in the music industry, to which before he was arrested, his son made a rap song really questioning the federal government, really questioning potential witnesses to go forward against his father. So, when you tie all those things together, you look at the social media dynamic, the social currency. We've confirmed that the FBI leak includes some jaw-droppers. Jay-Z is reportedly in the south of France, not just on vacation, but according to one source, positioning for negotiation in case Diddy starts naming names. Jennifer Lopez, rumor has it she had a private pilgrimage to Mexico, seen at a discreet spiritual compound near Oaxaca. Usher, one moment he's headlining in Vegas, the next poof. His team says it's a break. Others say it's a tactical withdrawal. But perhaps most baffling is Justin Bieber, whose sudden silence has alarmed even those close to him. He's ghosted the press. His publicist has issued no formal comment. And yet, someone caught sight of him boarding a jet in Vancouver, heading where? No answers yet, only questions. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some over greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there, because they get fluid and next thing you know, once go fluid, shoot, it's gone. What are they so scared of? What does Diddy have on them? Or is the real question, what did they allow to happen when the cameras weren't rolling? The buzz now isn't just about the trial. It's about the so-called revenge list. That's what insiders are calling it. A hand-curated dossier Diddy's kept since the late 2000s. The betrayals. The ones who cut ties when things got sticky. The quiet denials, the public disassociations, the whispers to prosecutors. One former assistant claims that Diddy once told him, "A man who forgets who ran when the bullets flew deserves to meet me again when I'm holding the gun." He meant metaphorically, maybe, but the sentiment rings cold. Now that he's got time, resources, and motive, that list might not stay metaphorical for long. People forget this wasn't just about glitzy events and velvet ropes. These parties, they were orchestrations, elaborate sets where reputations were bought and buried. Witnesses have described rituals, initiation games, secret rooms, blacked out phone pouches, rules whispered behind closed doors, and yet some came back again and again for what? Fame, power, leverage. I get it. So, you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that. They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. Terrence Howard broke ranks first a few months ago. He stunned viewers on a podcast with the kind of story that sounds like a fever dream until you realize it's part of a bigger pattern. He described being invited by Diddy under the pretense of acting lessons only. There were no scripts, no coaching, just Diddy staring, waiting like he was trying to size me up. Terrence recalled the most chilling part, the silence, the absence of intent, as though the whole thing wasn't about a lesson. It was about a test, about control. Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it? Hell yeah. What was the consequences when you said no? Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, Terrence didn't bite. He left and now he's naming names. His warnings about men who give up their man card at Diddy's parties aren't just jabs. They're confessions wrapped in caution tape. He says once you do that, you go fluid. And once you go fluid, it's gone. What he's really saying, once you give into that world, you don't get yourself back. And judging by who's fleeing now, some are only realizing that too late. Will you help me? I want to hear your music. So, I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me like waiting. Okay. So, then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to you. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now, no more communication. It's not just the men. Multiple sources say female celebrities have paid their dues at these parties. Sometimes literally, sometimes in the form of silence. Others allegedly traded something far deeper. Their image, their innocence, their autonomy. As Terrence put it, they have their Oscar, their money, but they don't have the soul they started with. No names were mentioned, but anyone paying attention knows that silence can be louder than accusations. Now, to be hands-off with somebody. A number of producers coming to make the approach and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, of threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. And if you think this is all just cryptic philosophy, think again. Ray J, yes, that Ray J just dropped a bomb in a recent documentary. He claimed that high-profile celebs have been reaching out to alleged victims of Diddy's freak-offs, trying to buy their silence before subpoenas land. He didn't name names. He didn't have to. The implication was clear. Some of the most recognizable faces in music and Hollywood are terrified that their participation or their proximity could be exposed. One investigator claims Diddy had hidden cameras embedded in fixtures, mirrors, speakers, that his mansions were wired like soundstages. If that's true, those tapes are more valuable than gold and more dangerous than evidence. Have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play roles. I don't kiss a man. And I don't do that because the man card means everything. I had no idea we're going to go this direction with the podcast. Cat Williams warned us too. Months ago, the comedian predicted 2024 would be the year all the deviants catch hell. He said he turned down $50 million 4 times to protect himself because, in his words, P. Diddy B won a party and you got to tell him no. His warnings now sound less like jokes and more like prophecies. He wasn't just being dramatic. He was issuing a survival manual. Even Usher, who once lived with Diddy as a teen, has walked back his praise. He's spoken of the parties at Puffy Camp as wild, curious, and crazy. When asked if he'd send his own kids there, hell no, he answered without pause. That clip's been circulating for weeks. Just one more thread in a much darker fabric. And then there's the whisper network surrounding Justin Bieber. Former executives claim Diddy took a disturbing level of interest in mentoring him. Sugary social media posts, exotic trips, private performances, and no women in sight. Suge Knight of all people went on record saying Bieber could have been bigger than Michael Jackson if not for what was allegedly allowed to happen. We'll leave that one there for now. Yeah, you going to hate me for that. I know. Yeah. Why did you say no? I didn't say no. You didn't say yeah. I didn't say yeah. The pattern is undeniable. Diddy allegedly preyed on ambition. He offered glamour, protection, connections. But it came with a price. Sometimes emotional, sometimes physical, often spiritual. And for the ones who took the deal, walked through the mansion doors, and chose silence for comfort, the reckoning is no longer hypothetical. It's happening now. As the music fades and the lawsuits stack up.